organic to the land. We sovereigns or this and that, right? So I looked at the word sovereign and come to find out it's a legal fiction. It only exists inside of U.S. courts. The sovereign, it only exists inside of the system. As you only can be a sovereign in the system. Like outside of the system, there's no such thing. Besides, now then the other thing too, and I'm gonna let you respond. The organic people thing. Cause I hear people say, "Oh, we organic people." When I went to go look up organic people on international files, there's no such thing as an organic people. It only say indigenous people rights, or indigenous this. It don't say nothing about organic. It never even mentions the word. Only time it mentions the word organic is talking about vegetables. Now it could be some higher axiological thing connected with people and vegetables. I can get into that, but I'm saying they only, when they in the court files, they only refer to, when you say on that, when I look up the word organic, it only comes up as plants and vegetables. As far as like stuff on agricultural violations, there's never a mention of organic as far as a people. The only word they mention of they mention the word natural in a certain way, but it was really indigenous is the word they use a lot. So what's your take on the sovereign being a legal entity? Because they say that sovereignty is a legal entity, a legal fiction, and a fiction is, some made up shit, artificial. Go ahead.
If you go to Google and type in sovereign law, it's going to tell you that it's the law that's by royalty. The sovereign is the royalties of any land, and they identify under the Uniform Commercial Code as being outside of the jurisdiction of the codes. When you go to the laws that the American corporation follow, they follow the United States codes, right? You have to get out of the jurisdiction of the codes and the statutes. Statutes are underneath the codes. Statutes is the Chevron doctrine. It's the corporate's body able to issue statutes in order to govern its internal workings. We've been classified as the internal mechanisms under the statutes that they govern by being citizens. Citizen is, you have to be registered as a citizen in order for the corporation to have jurisdiction over you. You don't register to be a sovereign. You born sovereign, owing no debts, right? And having no debts owed to you, right? But when you, in your sovereign capacity, you can operate from a position called universal law, which overrides contract law. You can't exercise universal law until you figured out how to become a sovereign or a royal persona in order to issue edicts. And you have to issue the edict from a superior legal jurisdiction, as in the case of natural law, which is the laws of nature, and universal law that applies beyond the earth. Once you operating from universal law, now you operating from fifth dimensional mind matrix, the spirit realm, because you outside of what the naked eye can see with universal law. It also is the laws, what we call hermetic laws or hermetic principles, are universal laws. Wherever you go as a three-dimensional being, the three-dimensional construct will apply until you learn how to apply a superior jurisdiction or a higher construct of laws, as in the case of universal law, right? Complements natural law, but it's belligerent to contract law. The laws of nature is belligerent to contract law because most of the nature. So when we talking about sovereign capacity, we talking about a capacity as a royal persona to issue edicts from the position of a power seat or throne. When you talk about organic, it's a new term. So it won't be quantified by the old system. when you making a reference to the organic people, you making a reference to the people that was there from the onset, uninterrupted in the steady flow of genetic inheritance from mother to daughter, mitochondrial laxy gene, the immortal gene. So now when you say organic, that means you emerge like the vegetables, like the trees from the ground that which you walk, this holy ground. And this is why all our ancestors are buried here, because this has been sacred land for us since this was Atlantis.
Hey, so the American Indians would be GMO, and we would be the organic, and they would be GMO. The American Indians, they genetically modify. Hey, this is the next question I got for you, Rod. We almost out of time. Hey, y'all hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you want to show brother Rod Hayes some love on the Cash App. I dropped in the links for the people that was asking about it. They said somebody said that Rod, they sent you some money, but you didn't accept it, so it didn't go through. So you
And they
like,
I get shadow banned on Cash App too.
yeah, me too. So hey,
So if people be messaging me talking about, did you get the money I sent you? I don't know. I can go look, but a lot of times I get it. A lot of times, sometimes I don't. Like I don't let nothing just sit there and don't respond to it.
Yeah.
That means that they had to either went to the wrong Cash App or Cash App put it on the back burner.
Hey, this is what I got for you, Roy. This is a powerful question right here, man, because we're dealing with jurisdiction, and we're dealing with wards of the state, and we're dealing with federal jurisdiction, state jurisdiction. We know that. So, what gives them jurisdiction over you, and how deep does this jurisdiction thing go, man? Because if you under federal jurisdiction, state jurisdiction, U.S. corps, I mean, how do we get around this jurisdiction thing? Do we unplug?
The only way
Access?
around it, the only way around it is for us to go back to the tribal traditions, grandfather us in, and use a superior jurisdiction that brings their corporate system to an end. Because until we in power, they in power. And as long as they in power, they gonna torture us every chance they get.
I noticed some too, Raw. There's another question tying in with that question. I noticed that back because you said that all crimes were commercial, so I went did research on it and did a tape on it called Crash Course on Commercial Crimes. Y'all want to go check that tape out on the video side. I said that all crimes commercial. So technically, a state court is not. It's technically not supposed to be dealing with subject matters when it come down to commercial crimes. But I think this what's happening is based on my research is that we don't know, so we just going in there and let them proceed with whatever they got going on, and it's pretty much criminal enterprise because we don't know. We just go in there and let them proceed and don't challenge jurisdiction on subject matter. Like the first time you're gonna challenge jurisdiction on subject matter because he can't even hear this. This magistrate can't even hear this subject matter because this not even the proper venue for the subject matter. So,
But that's a whole, what's it called, voir dire in court, where you have to stand there and banter back and forth legalese to the judge. And this is why most of us don't challenge jurisdiction, because they have so many means by which to deceive you into accepting a jurisdiction, right? If they arrest you for a crime, what's the first thing they do in the courts?
adjudicate. They're supposed to give you an indictment. They're supposed to give you an indictment.
When they first take you into the court, look, the police arrest you, take you down, fingerprint
a hearing.
What kind of hearing?
Bail hearing. Is it a bail hearing?
It's called arraignment.
Arraignment, yeah, arraignment. Go ahead.
Okay. In the Michigan court rules, this thing that they doing is called joinder of the parties for civil action. Their whole system is predicated up on financial distribution of the trust. When they say all crimes are commercial, they mean they all have a monetary value to the judiciary,
That's
right?
why they call it a
And,
charge.
right. So the charge is a financial instrument, just like they go to they got a price tag on stuff in the store, and when you get to the register and ring it up, they tell you what your final charge is. That's what they do in court when they give you all them count 1 through 99.
Go ahead.
And you get convicted on count 1, 12, 13, 14, 22. So you get convicted on 5 different counts. It reduces your overall charge when you cash out at the sentence. It's trickery in the first degree.
I'm telling, this is crooks like no other, boy. You if you ain't up on the game, like Mark Brady used to say, man, you go in their courts and you ain't up on the game, you about to get served. You about to get served, man. And
So
then look,
look, their system is in the Bible under the tribes of Judah and tribes of Levi. Their system is a levy and lien system. Levi is spelled Levi, which is the tribe of Levi. Lien is an anagram for enlil, right? So when they telling you whose system it is, you have no clue what they talking about. So how do you expect to defend yourself when they talk an entirely different language? All of the judges have to be accepted as an honorary member of the tribe of Judah. Because in the court setup that they give them is right there in the Bible. It's Leviticus and Judges, I believe. They tell them exactly how to set their system up. Right? That's part of their commission from Rome, because you got to remember, the Bible was not put together in America. It wasn't put together in the Middle East. It was put together in Rome. And they use different source information of the day. The Acts of the Apostles in the so-called Gospels are excerpts from a play written by a guy named Josephus Flavius. Josephus Flavius studied the first century Christian philosopher named Origen in order to create a story that became the controlling narrative of the Roman Empire in order to reach into the future. You have to go back to why Constantine said he's establishing the church to understand that it was a tool of control to begin with. And that if the judicial system is set up like in the Bible, that means it was set up by Romans. So the Old Testament was written after the New Testament to create a backstory, right? And they had different writers who was writing all of this stuff in order to give it what they call optimum effect.
Yeah, they stole the Samaritan tablets and a book of ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead. They plagiarized those books to create that backstory.
Yeah, the Jesus story is in the Holy Drama as the rise of Isis and Horus, the
Yep.
return of the
Yep.
rightful heir to overthrow his uncle.
Yep.
Go back to Noble Drew Ali. He said, be careful because your uncle will sell you into slavery. It's in the oral statements and prophecy. What is he talking about? Right? And I think Elijah Muhammad said something similar. They warning you about Enlil kids, the ones Yaqub left in charge, because he wasn't going to see his creation through. And how he going to make them to rule over you? By illusion. Right? And go back to the Rothschild, make everybody a worker doctrine, where he tell you about the harsh treatment the same thing that it's saying in other documents. They all tie together.
Hey,
Right.
Rod, this is the last question, and this is a powerful question because I'm gonna be talking about this too. I just want to hear what you got on it. Now, I noticed too in this system, they pull you in this artificial system, but to do it, most time they need you to sign your life away. They need you to agree about, like, because I know when you join the Masonic laws, they say, do you come on your own free will? When you join all these other satanic organizations, you come on your own free will. Now with the signature, and because I noticed their whole system is based on contracts, and they got to get you to agree, whether it's verbally, which is a verbal signature, or they got to get you to sign your name. How important, or how do we avoid their system as far as the signature, and how's our signature? What do you got on the signature thing? Because I noticed that's how they pull us into this system with our signature.
How do you make a deal with the devil?
Sign on the dotted line. You know what I'm saying?
It answers itself. Because if the devil needs your consent to do devilishment to you, when you sign on the dotted line, anything he do to you is under your own free will. Because you signed the papers to prove it.
Yeah, so most of them brothers, go ahead. Most of them brothers that be going to court, man. Like I remember my cousin when he came down here from New York, right? He was from New York, and he had been up in New York all his life. That was his first summer coming down here to Louisiana, right? And he was talking all this stuff, right, about about the court, all this stuff before I got on it, right? About the how it's all commercial and this and that, right? And what I was trying to figure out is, how can you, like, if you speak up for yourself and click your heels 3 times and all that, like even if you go to their systems, to their courts, and you know the game, how do you, and they don't listen to what you're saying, or they override what you're saying, or we ain't hear him, we ain't hear what he said, he challenged jurisdiction and all this, and how do you beat that? Like, how do
Look,
you get it?
you
Go
got to
ahead.
remember, you got to remember, they already hostile to you. You don't
Mm-hmm.
beat it.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna impose their will on you, but the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, later they gonna have to rectify it because you never consented or agreed to their jurisdictional authority,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you have to know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these people send people in the court half cop, and it blow up in their
Yeah,
face.
yeah, yeah. Facts.
You know, as long as their system is operational, they in power. We not in power until they system fall. Until they system fall, you just have to try to avoid them at all costs. And don't sign no contracts.
So technically, the people that's in Florence, Colorado, really are prisoners of war.
At 100%.
Yeah, Doc, J. Ford, they are prisoners of war.
Yeah. But
Even
you
El
got to
Chapo,
remember,
even El
you got
Chapo.
yeah, but you got to also remember this. Just because they a prisoner of war don't make them less of a prisoner,
Right, right.
right? So they not going to give a prisoner of war any air for freedom where he can continue whatever it is that they thought was belligerent to their system.
Right.
Their system is not designed to do anything for us. They told us that in the Dred Scott case.
Damn, that's a fact too. That's a fact.
So if they system, if we don't have any rights they bound to respect, then we have to come together in sufficient enough number to exercise our rights in unity to overthrow their jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
You have to overthrow the beast on top of you. You can't tickle his belly to get along with him because he don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
All he understands is I'm gonna swallow you whole first chance I get, and that's how he try to maintain his illusion of power.
Mm-hmm.
The power comes from the consent of the collective,
Mm-hmm.
and as long as people participating in all of these psyops, like the political paradigm and the entertainment paradigm, and that's the number one thing trending,
Mm-hmm.
you ain't ready.
Right.
You
Right.
ain't ready. You got a whole bunch of people talking about they want to be free, but they really not ready.
That's right, Rod. That's the truth.
Right? It's because if they was ready, they would realize that go home, sit down, take your ball and go home, you win. But they want to participate. They want to be in the middle of it. They want to referee the bullshit. I don't
Right.
want to be nowhere near the bullshit. Right? You
Man.
can't referee between two shit slingers
Right. You gonna get some shit
and
out of
expect to keep your clothes clean. You're gonna be smelled just as much like shit as the ones that were slinging at each other.
you. Right. That's
Don't go into the bullshit arenas. But you can't
right.
tell us that because we love gossip too much. Gossip has more control over our community than actual news.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anything that's gossip worthy, we gonna ride that shit to the last juiciness is out of that gossip.
Right.
And then we gonna bring it up when some new juicy gossip come up to remind us of it. Keep you in them cycles, feeding that energy so they can suck the loosh off you. Victim mentality. Long as you stay the victim or trying to victimize people, right? You can't oppress somebody, hold somebody down unless you down there with them, right? You can't get from under the oppressor if you scared to get his shoes dirty because his uniform is cute. The uniform is verification of the fraud.
All right, Rod. We got to be at the 2 hour mark, man. I'm about to take it, leg it down. Hey, but yeah, we're gonna come back, man. I'm gonna get more research on this and on the RICO, and we're doing other stuff, looking into all the Chiefs cases to see where the United States corporation did fraudulent, and we know it's fraudulent all over Docs, all over Larry and Jeff Ford case. We know they framed these guys. Everything is it's all like it's just simple, like it's just out there, like it's clear as day. You know what I'm saying? So we trying to just
Look,
get the public to see it. Go ahead.
look, if our rights mattered at all, it wouldn't be so many people innocent that they don't want to let out of prison, that they know is
Right,
innocent.
right, right,
It's a whole lot of people in prison and they believe because they there, you can't be innocent. That's not true. But I was locked up with a dude in the county. I think he was like 22 years old, and they pinned a 23-year-old murder based on the pistol he had. He couldn't have committed the murder. He wasn't born yet. They knew this. They knew even though he had the gun, he couldn't have committed the murder. He wasn't even born yet.
Damn,
But he
they
stayed in there fighting that case almost 2 years before I left him there in Cook
that's
County.
God, oh boy.
They kept giving him continuances because they didn't want to address the issues, knowing that he's not positive. Video. I did a whole Tupac video. So if you need me to tag you in the Tupac video that I did, it's about almost 3 hours long because I was going that way. I was dropping it because y'all don't know who y'all are. It's hard for y'all to know who we are. And so I had to expose a lot of stuff. The Tupac video originally I had to take it down because I almost got somebody killed. I had put it up a couple days prematurely, and the elders told me I had to take it down until the person that was in danger was secured. So I took it down and went on about my business. And next thing I know, they say, okay, put the Tupac video back up. So I put it back up. And it got a lengthy explanation about it. So it's called Tupac Decoded. And it's there. It's the full thing. It ain't just Tupac. See, it's Eazy-E. I can't wait for y'all to see Easy. Little squeaky ass voice. And it's B.I.G. Oh, you thought he was dead for real? I ain't gonna get all off into all of the living dead celebrities, because then I have to tell y'all Michael Jackson named David, and that he hiding out from the Jewish Defense League that's trying to kill his ass. And they took all his money to keep his daughter Paris from having it. But as soon as I get done kicking these motherfuckers in their ass, I'm giving her all his shit. I'm giving her all his shit. See, he surrendered it, so he can't get it back, but she can take care of him. When he faked his death, he surrendered it because he didn't do the paperwork. The same with Prince. Prince did the paperwork, but they stole it and hid it and said he didn't do a will. He didn't need a will, because the way that he did his paperwork, he didn't do it according to the modern judicial standard. He did it according to a higher order. So whoever he designated that his stuff gonna go to, once I get done moving this shit around on Earth, they gonna all end up with what he had earned. You're not gonna be able in the future, if a man earns something, you're not gonna be allowed to take it from him. You won't be allowed to deny somebody what they rightfully earn. Yep. Yep, Chanel, you've been with me a long time too. You one of my OG sisters. No, that video, look, I know where the money at. I know where Tupac put the money at. I know where Biggie got his money at. I know where Easy got his money at. I know where Nipsey money at. If I know where they money at, you think I can't know where the fuck the niggas at? Because their money is easier to hide than the nigga. Tupac is in California. He left California and went on trips around the world, but he ain't never stopped living in California. He told you right in the song. I heard a rumor I died, murdered in cold blood, dramatized. Pictures of me in my final stages. You know, mama cried. That shit was fiction. Some coward got the story twisted, like I no longer existed, mysteriously missing. Then he turn around and he tell you, while you on your grind, motherfucker, I'm on my California grind, nigga. We ain't hard to find. I'm right here. Hard to find. He told you right there in the sun, right before your very eyes, you won't even realize you can't see me. He been there all the time. I got you on my Tupac video. You know, if you go back, he got a song called Everything They Owe. And in that song, it started off, imagine if you can go back. You can go back and talk to the ones that came over on slave ships. The very first niggas to come over here. And then he started off, he say, back for everything they owe, no longer oppressed. So now we overthrow those who placed us in this rotten mess. But let's see if we can agree on our strategies, right? And pick our enemies derived from our own kind. We ride. So which one am I there? All right, bring me in. I'm almost done with this. And he tell you right there, you coming back for everything they owe. Black people talk about reparations, but we're not eligible. We're not eligible because white people ain't did nothing to require them to repair us. Black people did that shit. Niggas put them motherfuckers there as pawns. They just something for you to look at so you can't see the real enemy. Nation of Islam been telling you all the time who the real enemy is. They said the white man, the devil, he was made by Yaqub. Yaqub wasn't white. Yaqub wasn't white. What about the goddamn black devils? Forgot about them? That's where the problem at. Look, I got a song inspired by Tupac I wrote. It's called From Nigga to Gorilla. I'm gonna give y'all these bars. This how we gonna end this with these bars. They call my speech the raw truth on the street. Platinum lines heavily laced with these platinum beats. Delivery gangster with the power to teach. Like a doomsday prophet when I start to preach. Open your mind and I'll touch your soul. Platinum back gorilla with a heart of gold. Hand pick initiated, platinum back gorilla. I used to run the streets like the average nigga. A natural born killer like Dre and Ice Cube. Little wild motherfucker breaking society's rules. The tools I used was these lefts and rights. Turn parties about the rules every Friday night. But then I learned to write. I educated my mind, converted these prophecies to some hard-ass rhymes. Read the signs, come warning the fire and brimstone. Studying secrets, still keeping the chrome. Ready for combat in the midst of war. Good against evil, trying to even the score where these demons be seeking the upper hand. Snatching souls of black folks, women and men. Struggling in the world to raise these niggas and give them military minds and call them gorillas. From nigga to gorilla. That's how I do. That's how I do. They call my speech the raw truth on the streets. Platinum lines heavily laced with these platinum beats. Delivery gangster with the power to teach. Like a doomsday prophet when I start to preach. Open your mind and I'll touch your soul. Platinum back gorilla with a heart of gold. From nigga to gorilla, avoid the destruction. We lose black life for a little bit of nut.